Do you believe that you've been called to coach? You believe that it's an assignment that God has placed on your heart and you just can't stop thinking about it. You can't stop trying to figure out how to make your coaching business work without compromising your kingdom assignment. I am your vision coach, Latoya Early, and leadership development trainer, developing coaches and leaders in their purpose so that they can truly increase their performance, generate more profit, and impact people. Listen, today I want to share with you how to make more money in your Christian coaching business. I've been in this space for about 13 years now. And one thing that I struggled with, is how do I grow my business, not just so that I can truly impact and transform the lives of people using the gift and the skill that God has given me, but how do I do that without feeling guilty of charging the prices that I charge for my services? Let's talk about today how to make more money in your Christian coaching business without feeling guilty, without feeling convicted, and truly believing that you have the strategy and the solution to the problem of the person that you are assigned to impact through your coaching. What I want to first do is help you truly define whether or not you've been called to coach. Here are a few signs that you may see come up. Now, I know that social media has created this algorithm that the moment that you say something about a particular item or a product, you may not even say it. You may think it, and it will just magically appear on your timeline. I want you to stop looking at those things as a coincidence. Now, let me be clear. I'm not talking about necessarily the materialistic things or the watch that you said you needed or the new outfit you wanted. I'm talking about the answer to truly fulfilling your life's purpose and learning how to monetize that purpose and generate a profit. You've been in a space where you know that you've been called to coach, but you just can't figure out the strategy. Maybe you've been on Google, maybe you've been on YouTube University, maybe you've been on Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok, trying to piece together a strategy that is going to help you grow and develop your coaching business so that you can generate profit and so that you can impact people. A lot of times people struggle with this concept because they believe that you can only make money by selling a service that guarantees a monetary return. For a long time, I thought that as well. It had even gotten to a point that I had shift and changed my messaging so that it speaks more to generating six figures in your coaching business as a kingdom believer than developing the processes and committed and developing the systems and being committed to the process. I found myself sinking faster than I've ever found myself sinking in my business. I was too focused on the profit. I was too focused on the money, and I wasn't really focusing on the people. Here's why you can generate income in your business, whether or not your result is healing and breakthrough, whether or not your result is financial increase, whether or not your result is a promotion, a professional promotion, whether or not your result is a better relationship, whether or not whatever your results are. Here's why you are able to generate income through that process, regardless of what the industry is saying, regardless of what the enemy is telling you. I know that many times when you're researching, okay, how do I grow my coaching business? What do I need to do? A lot of us try to research the best niche, right? What's most popular? What's most profitable? Have you heard that? I know you have because I've seen it. I've seen influencers and gurus tell you that you need to build your coaching business in a popular niche, that you need to build your coaching business in a profitable niche. But if you're going to be the kingdom coach that God has called you to be, what is a kingdom coach? A kingdom coach is a person who has aligned their coaching business according to the word of God. A kingdom coach is someone who is focused on impacting the lives of people and understand that through impact, income will increase. I want to talk to you today on how to make more money in your coaching business, in your Christian coaching business, without compromising your kingdom assignment, without feeling guilty. Here's the biggest issue. Christian coaches, kingdom coaches struggle with feeling guilty for exchanging strategy for profit. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's kind of backtrack a little bit. Number one of my favorite scriptures is in Genesis, I can read, I can speak. Genesis 1 and 28. Genesis 1 and 28 reads, and God blessed them, right? He's talking about the man that he created, the men that he created in his image, Adam at that time. He's talking about us. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created, right? So when he created us, he said, and the word says, and God blessed them. So let's use this in a personal tense. So when he created us, he blessed us, right? He said, and it says, and God said to us, this is what he's saying to us. When he created us in his image, he blessed us and he told us to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heavens and over every living thing that moves on this earth. Let me repeat what I'm saying to you, because I want you to hear it, right? I really want you to gather this for yourself. The Bible tells us that when God created us in his image, remember, I'm making this personal. We're in Genesis 1:28, well, 1:27. When God created us in his image, he created male and female, right? And when he created us, he called us blessed. He told us, listen, you're blessed. Why? Because I've created you in my image. One thing that, if I don't know anything else, there's two things that God created me to do. He created me to create, and he created me to love. He created me to create, and he created me to love. Now, not only did he create me to create, and not only did he create me to love, but he created me so that I can use the skills and the gifts that he's given me when I was born, when he created me in my mother's womb. He has given me the power to use those things to generate wealth. He said, be fruitful and multiply. Once we multiply, we're supposed to use what we've multiplied to fill the earth and subdue it, lead it, have dominion over it, have authority over it. Okay, so let's stop there. What am I saying to you as a coach? If you are a believer, okay, you are a believer. You're saying, I trust God. I believe that God called me to coach, but I struggle, excuse me, I struggle with developing myself as a professional. I struggle with monetizing my profession, because here's the thing, excuse me, you could have been called to coach and you may be coaching, but many of us have become so we've missed the understanding of how to monetize our gifts, and we give them out for free. Sometimes the skill of coaching can become so innate that you're doing it anyway and you haven't even learned how to monetize it. Some of you are struggling with feeling guilty of monetizing your strategy. And I want to help you in today's training be free of that guilt. Yes, there is some mindset work that is required. Yes, we do have to help you become free of a poverty mindset. We have to help you understand your mindset about money so that you can be free from believing that the gift that God has given you, that you are not supposed to monetize. You are most definitely supposed to monetize. He just told us that he created us in his image, right? And he blessed us. How did he bless us? He blessed us to be fruitful and multiply. Multiplication is timing something by itself to itself, which means it takes um multiple numbers, multiple dollars, multiple people, multiple situations, multiple fruit, right? So let's stop there. It says be. What does that mean? If you are called to coach and you're trying to figure out now what, the first thing you have to do is be, right? A lot of us, we see a lot of posts, we see a lot of memes, we see a lot of, people talk about becoming. And that's a good thing because becoming is an action word. But the root word to becoming is to be. It's to make a decision that I have been made in the image of God and He has blessed me to be fruitful. If you have been called to coach, the very first thing you need to do to multiply your money, to make more money in your business, to be free of the guilt is to establish your identity. God made me this way. God created me to make money. God created me to use the gifts and the skills to multiply so that I can subdue. You can't subdue without any money. You can't subdue. You cannot have dominion if you have no authority, if you have no leadership. Understand, think about it. If you were walking down the street, now this isn't, I'm not trying to be funny because there are a lot of people who have lost lost their belongings. They just had traumatic issues that has happened in your life. But if a homeless person comes up to you and say, hey, let me show you how to make $1 million, would you question it? Do you take financial advice from people who are broke? Now, if you do, I question you because that's kind of scary. But I want you to think about it. Like, would you go to an investor and say, yes, invest my $100, invest my $1,000, invest my $10,000, invest my $100,000 into this portfolio, and that investor don't have any money? I wouldn't. I'm not taking investment advice from somebody who broke. That doesn't make sense because they're not implementing the strategy that they say that they have. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this to you because if you're going to establish yourself as the solution to a problem, you first have to be the solution. You first have to live the solution. You have to believe that God created you in His image. He's blessed you and He's given you everything you need to be fruitful and to multiply. We're talking about how do I make more money in my coaching? I hear that all the time. Latoya, how do I make more money in my coaching business? How do I even sign my first client? And I know that many people are looking for this step-by-step magical solution, but the very first thing that I have to guide you, the very first area that I have to guide you in is establishing the identity in Christ. He said, be is a decision. It is a state of mind. Be the mission, be the solution. Know that God created me to do this. So I know that I am. I am that I am because He said that He is, and I am who He is. Right? You have to establish who you are. You have to believe that God created you to be the person that you are aspiring or setting out to be. You don't have to hope to become that person. Be the person. Be them. Now, what does that mean? If you are an identity coach, if you are a confidence coach, if you are a freedom coach, if you are a mindset coach, if you are a success coach, you're a business coach, you're a self coach, you are a resilience coach, whatever type of coach, a transformation coach, whatever type of coach you believe that God has called you to be it. Don't wait. A lot of times people say, how do I start coaching or how do I become coaching? It's a decision. You have to make the decision in your mind and in your actions and in what you study and in what you say before you can have. Can you have clients? Yes, but you have to be before you can have. Number two is learning how to master the message. This is where a lot of coaches fall short because we're looking for a fix get fixed quick strategy. That's not how coaching works. That's not how becoming the greater that God has for you. The Bible says, greater is he that is in me. It doesn't say great is he, because he's already created you to be great. He created you in his image. He says greater. So when you're becoming greater than who you are today. You're becoming greater than who you were when you were born X amount of many years ago, right? So again, we're talking about number one, you have to be. That is a decision. That is a state of mind. That is unwavering. Now, is it challenging? Yes, because it requires a certain level of belief. It requires a certain level of understanding. And all by get understanding and who God has called you to be. Understand the mission. What is the assignment? The assignment is that you use what he's given you to be fruitful and multiply. The assignment is to fulfill his purpose, that we all may make disciples of one another, to fulfill God's purpose for us. How do you do that? You have to be. I have to be content. I have to be confident. I have to be aware. Why? Because once you decide, something that is important for you to understand, that God gives us free will, which means we have a choice, right? Which means we have a choice. When you have a choice, there are multiple decisions. There are multiple things that you can choose from. There's a difference between deciding and choosing, because choosing means, oh, I could be here, oh, I could be there, maybe I'll be this person this day, oh, maybe I'll be this person. No, we're not choosing. We have decided to be who God has created us and designed us to be. I'm not choosing. Many are called, but only few choose to decide to be who God has created you to be. I'm not gonna wake up one day and say, you know what? I choose to be a hairstylist today. And I don't. Since moving, I've had to do my family's hair, and I'd be mad. Like, I didn't sign up to be no hairstylist, right? But I know that I can do it. I have a skill, so I use it. But I've decided to be who God called me to be as a coach, as a leader. And there's no wavering in that, right? So we talked about, how do I make more money in my coaching business? What do I do? It's a mindset thing. It starts in your mind. You have to be. Number two, mastering the message. This is becoming, right? Remember when we talked about how you see a lot of influencers, you may have seen some posts, you may have seen this trend about becoming her, becoming him, all the things. Becoming is an action word, which means continuously, ing. But guess what? The root word to becoming is to be. You have to be before you can develop into what's greater. So some of you are striving, I'm becoming, but you haven't even established or identified who you are to become better than what you've discovered. You just spinning your wheels because you're striving for something instead of making a decision. And some of us are afraid to make the decision because we're afraid that it's the wrong decision, because we're comparing our decisions. We're comparing our lifestyles. We're looking at other leaders, other teachers, other influencers, other business owners, and we're comparing ourselves instead of using it as an inspiration. Like, oh my goodness, if they were able to decide and be, then I can decide and be. Now, I may not be who they are, and I may not look the way they look, but I know that because we were all created in his image, there is a very special place for me that where there is no competition, because I don't compete with other vision coaches. I can't see the way that they see, and they can't see the way that I see. Our fingerprints are not the same. We don't have the same amount of hair count follicles in our head that we have amongst one another. So why are we trying to compare what God told me to be with who she or he, God told them to be? Master your message. How do you do that? You have to get clarity. It's frustrating to see people say that God called you to a business. You said he called you to a business, but yet you won't commit to the process long enough to become. You have to become the message. Now, listen, I'm only talking to my kingdom coaches. I'm not talking to coaches who out here trying to make a quick dollar. I'm not talking to my coaches who look at coaching as a side hustle. I'm not talking to the coaches who prefer to seek secular or industry solutions to try to fit into a kingdom assignment. I'm talking to the coach who is saying to herself or to himself, this is my God-given assignment. And I need to figure out, how do I make the best of this assignment, and how do I gain the success in this assignment, both monetary and people? How do I do that? I'm talking to the men and women who's in a position where you know that coaching is your assignment, but you just can't seem to figure out how to make it work. I've Googled, I've YouTubed, I've downloaded these freebies, I've jumped in and out of programs, I've tried to piece together, but how do I make this work? There's a process to this. We've talked about making the decision. Be who God called you to be. How do I be? By mastering the mission. The Bible tells us to count it all joy. Count it all joy. When we're going through the trials and tribulations of life, when we're going through those experiences, we are supposed to face them head strong. And why do I always say headstrong? Because there's a mindset strength that you need to face these challenges and know that these challenges are for you, but they're not about you. The challenges are about the clients that he has assigned to you, that's going to pay you for the solution and the strategy to help get them to where you are. If you're at a 5, coach 0 to 4. If you're at a 3, coach 0 to 2. But for the people who are trying to coach at a 10 and you're still at a 2, it's because you are not taking the time to master the mission and master the message. Get the clarity, get the understanding. Becoming is an action word, which means it takes day-to-day depositing. Day-to-day depositing. Stop picking up the assignment once a week. Stop picking up the assignment once a month. I commit to my assignment every single day, because in the days that I take a break gives the enemy time to convince me that is not as important as you think it is. And the more he convinces you that is not as important, or you got time, or you'll do that later, or you'll get to it when you get to it, then the more distance come between you and the person that needs you, and that person is becoming further and further and further lost into the deception and the lies of the enemy, because you refuse to be. In this level, into mastering the message, is about simplifying the solution. So you have a hard time selling your strategy because you haven't simplified the solution. How do I simplify the solution? You have to live it. You have to master it. That's how you simplify the solution. It's not a book. It's not something that you just sit down and 1, 2, 3 step. No, it's something that you have to develop. It's something that you have to prune. It's something that you have to work towards daily. How do I simplify the solution? Because the more simple I can make the solution to my client, the more easier my client will get through their process, and they're able to see results way faster than I did. Well, that's the point. We go through things as individuals to do what? Teach our children. What do you tell your child? If you're a mom, if you're a parent, if you're a dad, if you're a godparent, a love parent, whatever you are, you say, listen, I'm only telling you this because I've been where you are. Something my dad used to say to me all the time, and it used to get on my nerves. But I find myself saying it to my kids, right? He'll say something like, I've been 30. I mean, I've been 12. You ain't never been 30. I've been 15. You ain't never been 40, or however old he was at that time. And I'm like, wah, wah, right? But it's the truth. It's the truth. And it's the same thing with coaching. You want to work with a coach, of course, that has gone through the trial and the tribulation so that you don't have to. And that takes me to point number 3. Don't sell ministry. Monetize the strategy. I'm not selling ministry. Ministry is in my heart. Listen, I'm a minister everywhere I go, to every person I can, at every moment I can, whenever I'm supposed to, I'm gonna talk. When God says talk, I'm gonna talk. When God says teach, I'm gonna teach. I'm monetizing the strategy. I'm not monetizing ministry. I'm not teaching you how to get a closer relationship with God. No, I'm teaching you the strategy on how to make more money in your business. And in that strategy, you will get closer to God because that's the system. That's the system. If you want kingdom wealth, if you want the wealth that God promised us over in Deuteronomy, where he said that he's given us power to gain wealth, if you want to be fruitful and multiply, now we can't use his principle if we're not going to abide by him. So you're going to get the relationship, but the result of that relationship, the result of that strategy, that's what you're going after. And what you are providing as a coach, what you're monetizing as the coach is the strategy. What you're monetizing is the accountability. What you're monetizing is, well, remember when we just talked about how you've gone through those things. I want to help you get to 6 figures faster in your business than it did me. It took me a long time. It took me a long time. I tell you guys a story all the time how I did an 8-week program. When I first started, I was so excited about coaching. I did an 8-week program for $125. It was the Right the Vision coaching course, $125. Why? Because I was afraid to ask people for money. I assumed that people wouldn't pay for it. I had money issues with myself and how I thought about money. I always felt like I didn't want to sell ministry and I didn't want to feel like I'm perverting the pulpit, all the things that we hear. So I struggled in my mindset when it came to money. And so what I did, I was lowballing myself. I wasn't considering the work that was required. I wasn't considering the experiences that I had. I wasn't considering the taxes I had to pay. I wasn't considering the systems and the processes that I needed to pay for in order for this thing to work. I wasn't considering those things in my pricing because the enemy had convinced me that no one's going to pay you to help them write the vision. And so without me going through those experiences, then I wouldn't be qualified to sit before the coaches that I am so blessed to sit before and say, listen, y'all, we're not about to do that. We're not about to play that game. So helping coaches become free of the guilt, helping coaches be free of the mindset, the poverty mindset, is one of the things that we focus on here at Chase Great. Why? Because those are the things that kept me stuck. It's so funny, in our program, I'm working with some coaches and we're working through their messaging. And I'm so proud of them. I've seen some great success in these past couple of weeks. But one of the things we've been working through is getting to the root of the solution, or getting to the root of the problem that you are called to solve through your coaching strategy, right? And the only way to get to the root of that thing is to sit down and to look at the experiences. Let's sit down and count it all joy. One thing that I struggle with is trying to take a kingdom assignment and fit it into a secular strategy. And the moment that God showed me that the strategies that I need to monetize my business to multiple six figures is in his word. Now, does that mean that we don't need people? No, that's not what that means. Yes, we need people to help us get clarity. Yes, we need, listen, we don't get to the level of success that we truly desire without collaboration. You need people. Not only do you need people to, of course, invest into the program, but you need people to help build the program. So we've talked about today how to make more money in your Christian coaching business without compromising your kingdom assignment. How do I get there? I encourage you. If you are ready for a partnership, because that's how I look at Chase Great University. We are a partnership. If you are looking for a partnership to help you navigate to your success in your coaching business, to make more money, to close your next four-figure client, then I encourage you to click the link and apply. Apply to become a student at Chase Great University, master your message, and become niche certified. Niche coaching is kingdom coaching. Niche coaching is the gateway to your success. The more focused, the more you master, the more you grow in a specific area, the greater the results. Maybe you're not ready to jump into a program. I understand. There's a link in the caption. Click the link, purchase my six-figure success system, my 12-step six-figure success system. Listen, I had a coach make this purchase a month ago. And when I tell you her results, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can find it real quick. When I tell you her results, let me tell you what she said to me after reading the book. She said, "Hey, I want you to know that your book is blessing me. These exercises are so helpful. I was building my business for profit and not purpose. That's why it's not growing." And then she went on and on. She said, "I'm working my way through the book and workbook. Halfway through, we share so much in common. So glad we were connected." She's implementing the things that are in the six-figure bundle. She's implementing them. And guess what? She decided that the strategies and the steps in that book were so profound. She said, I'm ready to go after what's next." She's now a student of Chase Great University. I encourage you. You've been called to coach and you're trying to figure out now what? You're trying to figure out, how do I monetize this? Like, I know God gave it to me. He didn't give it to you to just sit on it. He gave us a commandment in Genesis 1:28 to be fruitful and multiply. He said, I created you in my image, which means I've given you the skill to create, because we were created in his image and he's a creator. In the beginning, he created, right? So he's given us the ability. He's given us the skill to create. What are you creating? What are you being fruitful and multiplying? Have you decided that you will be? Have you mastered the message? Have you simplified the solution? And are you so busy? Are you stuck in selling ministry instead of monetizing the solution or monetizing the strategy? We don't sell ministry here at Chase Gray. We don't sell ministry as Kingdom Coaches. Ministry is who we are. Ministry is a part of our daily walk. It's a part of our language. It's a part of our mindset. But strategy and skill, that's what God has given you to multiply. That's what God has given you to monetize. Can you monetize as a confidence coach, as a freedom coach, as an identity coach, as an empowerment coach, as a resilient coach, as a forgiveness coach? Can you monetize? 1000%. But are you willing to be the message, to live the message, to simplify the solution so that you can be free from the guilt of monetizing the gift? I hope you guys enjoyed today's training, Call to Coach Now What? I am your vision coach and leadership development trainer, Latoya Early, here to help you align with purpose so that you can increase your performance, generate more profit, and truly, truly impact the lives of people. Be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.